So welcome to another video. So I'm just out in the woods having a bit of a mooch, bit of a day camp. What I wanted to do is share with you a loadout I've been putting together recently. Just all about getting me weight and my gear down for summer overnighters here in the UK, mainly the national parks. So if you've seen the channel before, you know that I've got quite a bit of bushcraft gear, some ex-military surplus stuff, and it's definitely not the lightest of gear. So I wanted to use my existing gear, see what weight I could get it down to. At the moment the base weight is 8 kilos, about 17.5 pounds, all in with food and water. Everything comes in at 10 kilos, 22 pounds, which, you know, I'm really happy with, because my type of camping, what I do, generally just hike 16 k's, find my spot, do my camp, and then back out the next morning. I'm not a through hiker, long distance hiker, anything like that, ultralight backpacker. So if you're one of those, this video is definitely not for you. But if you enjoy your adventures like I do, maybe got some similar gear to me, then hopefully this might give you some ideas. So we'll crack on with it, and we'll see what I've got. But we'll start off with the bag first. For me, I've got the Carrie SF Sabre 35. Got two of the SF packs. I've got the 35 and the 75. Decent little pack for what I paid. Both of them are second hand, got them off eBay. Got them at a decent price, advertised as new without tags. And I think this is made of what they call a 600D polyester fabric with a silicon PU elastomeric, whatever that is. But it's supposed to be abrasion resistant, quite tough little pack. If you're not doing any serious bushwhacking, it'll do you okay. What I really like about it, it's got lots of pockets so you can organise your gear, get your gear all stashed away nicely, and that appeals to me. I like to have my gear all organised. It's reasonably comfortable. The back does get a bit sweaty on there, that's the only complaint. And the waist-strap, it's pretty US. No, it's a waste of time, because the pack your ride's, you know, quite high on you, so it doesn't really sit properly on the hips. So I've just attached that round the front, it's out the way. So I'll start with the outside of the pack, and then work into the pockets, and then we'll get into the main compartment. So on top, I've got my little multi-mat, sit mat. That goes everywhere with me, saves your knees, comfy to sit on. In fact, I'm going to use it now. There we go. So next we've got the trekking poles on the outside of the pack, and this is what makes the setup possible. It's a tarp and bivvy setup. Always been sceptical of trekking poles, but give them a go, and I was pleasantly surprised that the benefit was, especially with hiking with a bigger pack, going with the ascents and descents really helped. So yeah, I've been converted, but only bought some cheap ones. These are just TREKOLOGY ones, and they're ideal for what I need, just in case I didn't get on with them. But these come in at about, I think, 275 grams each, which is it's not too bad. It's a decent weight for the price that I paid for them. So yeah, and they've held up pretty well so far. So I'll be using them more in the future. But that's them both on the outside of the pack. So we'll start with the top lid first, and it's really quite spacious. And this holds all the gear that I want to be able to get my hands on to quickly while I'm out hiking, without having to delve all the way into the pack. So first out is my first aid kit. That's everything that I need to do a bit of self-help for minor cuts, abrasions, sprains. Got some medications in there, antihistamine, ibuprofen, painkillers. Got my toothpaste, toothbrush in there, tick remover, stuff to deal with minor burns, things like that. So that's all easily accessible. First thing that comes out. It's one of those things that you hope you don't have to use. Next, got a trowel and some hand sanitizer, digging cat holes, steel trowel, so obviously that could be a bit lighter, but like I said, I'm using the kit that I've got. So that goes there. Plastic bag for my rubbish. What you take in, you take out. 10,000 milliamp power bank. This is a waterproof one. That'll charge the GoPro and my phone, and that'll do for me for overnight. And it's got an emergency light on there as well, so it's a backup light source. good bit of kit. Next then is the few electronics, spare batteries for the GoPro, spare SD card, charging cables. Need to access them on the go. And I've got my silver compass. Always take a map and compass with me. I download the maps onto my phone, but always take a map and compass out with me, especially when I'm going to the national parks. Next is my 1.5 litre. This is my dirty water bottle, what I try to fill up just before I get into camp. And it gives me an extra 1.5 litres for the rest of the camp until I'm hiking out, and I can fill up on the way out as well. So that goes in there where I can get it, and then once that's filled up, there's enough room for it to go under the top lid as I'm hiking into camp. Head torch. This is the Petzl Tikka. I've had this a few years. It's not let me down. Good bit of kit. Emergency whistle on this. Takes 3 AAAs, or you can buy the rechargeable battery pack that goes in there, and you can charge that off your power bank as well. SAWYER Mini, that's my water filtration device of choice. Really lightweight, good bit of kit. Not weighed everything individually, I've just done it as a whole. I'll try to include as much as I can in the description below, guys. Last but not least, this was a bit of a dilemma whether to include this in a summer kit, and it's a pair of gloves. I think basically if you're heading over 500-600 metres in the national parks, and the weather changes pretty quickly over here in the UK, it can be lashing it down in a matter of seconds and blowing a hoolie, and your hands can start to suffer, and I think it's important that you need to keep them digits working. So I decided to include them for the weight of them. I've got the space, I can afford the weight, so they're included. So that's everything in the top lid. So we'll move on to the side pockets. So on these packs you've got 4 side pockets. You've got 2 zip ones and 2 outer larger ones. And in the zip pockets I just keep my wet weather gear, so it's easily accessible. One side just got a pair of cheap waterproof over trousers with zip down them so I can get them on over my boots. And then the other side just use a poncho. So it's separate from the rest of the gear, so they can just be stuffed back in there wet. It's not going to get any of the other gear wet. So that's just in them side pockets. In the right side pocket I've got my cook kit and a few other bits and bobs. My cap, peak cap, usually put that on if there's a light shower. Brew kit and stove. Stove I use a little titanium BRS stove, I think only weighs about 26 grams. It's effective little stove, I really like it, but you do need to use a windshield with it. But yeah, I've had that for a few years, and I've actually stood on it and had to use the pliers on the Leatherman to straighten out the little pot supports. But yeah, it's a decent little stove, like I say. As long as you use it with a windshield, it'll serve you well. And it's quite relatively cheap as well. Right, go in there. Stand, canister stand, windshield, I think it's half full gas canister. This is the 230 size, so there's probably about 130 grams left in that. That's plenty for an overnighter, just wrapped in a bandana. So that's everything in that pocket. So left hand side one, I've got my stainless water bottle and my spork, long handled spork. This is the Sea to Summit, I think, what's it called? Ultralight or something like that. Does the job. Obviously being long handled, if you're using the dehydrated meals, you can get right in to the bottom and stir them up and get in there without getting all your fingers all mucky. Obviously that's 40 ounce clean Kanteen bottle, steel bottle. Yeah, could get something lighter, but I like the idea of if there's a problem with the SAWYER Mini, I can always boil my water up to purify it, or heat up the water. If it gets a bit chilly, wrap it in shemagh. Got a nice little hot water bottle as well. And Pathfinder steel mug. Tent stakes, got about, I think about 8 are the fairly lightweight tent stakes, mixture of I think the DD SuperLight ones and then some like knockoffs of the mini groundhogs, but they work really well. They come in about 13 grams each, and then the DD ones I think they're about 9 grams each. But like I say, any questions guys, just ask in the comments, and I'll always get back to you as soon as I can. And then lid, won't forget my lid this time, so I won't be taking a mess tin. So that's both the side pockets done and the 2 zip side pockets. So we'll get into the main pack now, and I'll show you what's in there. Obviously no inside lid, but like I say, top one's big enough, and I think that's reinforced as well as the base on these packs, and it has got like a ripstop construction to it as well, which is really handy. So right at the back where you can put your water bladder, that's where my map is. Put my OS maps there, so I can dig that out, and then once I've got it out, it can go in one of the cargo pockets. So this is my old Rab bivvy bag, lightweight bivvy bag. No idea what model it is. This is really one of the early ones, I think. Got this in the early 90s. I think Rab had only been going about 10-11 years time. So, but that's served me well. Yeah, all taped seams and everything. It's done a good job. Still going strong. I doubt you wouldn't be able to get hold of one of these now. So if I was to replace this, I'd probably go with something like the Alt Kit Hunker XL. But yeah, I've used that as basically to put all my kit in as well. So at the top, your food in bright orange dry bag. I like to take something that's brightly coloured, at least one item when I'm going up the hills. And in there I've got a mixture of supermarket dehydrated food and a bit of wet food as well. I've done camps purely on dehydrated food, and I'm not a massive fan, so I like to mix it up a bit. So that's everything in there that I need. Next out, then another dry bag with my spare clothing, spare socks. I've got a merino wool long sleeve zip up top as well, which I'll sleep in that. For hiking I'll probably wear my Rab fleece, that's really comfortable. I've also got my beanie, sleep in my beanie if it gets cold, and a shamag, and that'll all form part of my sleep system, and make a pillow as well. Right, next we've got the tarp, and this is the DD SuperLight S small. Like I said, weighs about 260 grams, 5 foot by 9, adequate for one person, and you've seen how I set that up with the trekking poles. But yeah, really liking this so far. Sleeping mat, you just see me use this my last Snowdonia trip. It's the X-Bed Down Mat Light 5. Obviously you could use a much smaller, lighter sleep system, sleeping pad, but I really like this. I'm really impressed with it. Super comfy. I think it's got an R value of 4.1. Great bit of kit, and it's still, even with the pump, packs down slightly smaller than my old Multimat Adventure 25 3/4 length. So that serves its place. Last but not least is the sleeping bag. Now for summer setup I use the Snugpak jungle bag with a silk sleeping bag liner. That does me, that's perfectly okay when you're in the bivvy on a decent pad, and like I say, packs down really small. So that's everything guys, and obviously the Rab bivvy bag. Oh sorry, I found one more thing, a titanium plate. Obviously because I have a mixture of dehydrated and fresh food, it leaves my mug free then to have my brews. I could just put my food on there. That weighs I think about 12 grams more than one of the Sea to Summit silicone collapsible cups, so it's worth taking. And obviously you could use that for cooking if you really wanted to as well. So yeah, another good bit of kit. Yeah, that is everything. So I'll lay it all out, and like I say, any questions, you know, please ask in the comments. Any suggestions, anything that I could swap out, change, It's not going to cost an arm and a leg. That's how I'm not into the ultralight gear, buying, you know, the really expensive stuff. I like to use what I've got. But any suggestions, you know, please stick them in the comments, guys. Anything I forgot, or anything you want to know, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. There we go, guys. There's all the gear laid out. Let's say it comes in a total of £22 all in, which I'm quite happy with, considering it's not like really expensive SuperLight gear. That should do me for the UK national parks throughout the rest of this summer. So that's it, guys. Hopefully that's been of some use to someone. The tarp shelter I used was the same as what I used in Snowdonia last time I was there, the Dutch Army hoop bivvy. It works all right with the lightweight bivvy bag. Someone of my size, I think, might be a bit too snug for the 6-footers out there, but for somebody like me, it's yeah, it's nice and cosy, good setup. I like it. So when I set this gear up, I had 2 locations in mind for trying it out, both in Wales. One was Codra Idris and the other one was Molshabad. Unfortunately, the way the fuel prices are in the UK at the moment, absolutely bonkers. I'm going to be staying a bit close to home for the time being, so hopefully get to test this gear up in the Peak District soon. So that's it from me, guys. So until the next one, you take care. I'll see you again soon.